Burgess Taylor, and today we're going to talk about the basics of journaling, how to journal, how to start a journal, keep a journal, that kind of thing. I've had a lot of people ask me questions on YouTube, on Facebook, so I thought I'd do this. I think I've done this before, but I guess maybe I've done it in bits and pieces, so I'm going to do it all together. I just recently did a all about journaling video. I showed a lot of my supplies, but I still got some questions. I have 10 main points, and along the way I'm going to show you a few things. First one is to make sure that you get a journal that you like. It's your journal. That's number 3. So we're going to go to number 2. Don't force yourself to journal every day. If you don't feel like journaling, don't journal. Number 3, remember, it's your journal. I'm going to move this. I wrote the stuff down, and of course, well, dang it. And of course, I had ink splayed out. So my page has mistakes on it, which is one of the things I'm going to talk about. Remember, it's your journal, so you can do whatever you want to. You can write what you want, you can draw what you want, you can make it however you want, you can cover it, put whatever you want in it. It's your journal. Number 4, don't be afraid of the blank page. If you can't get past that blank page, you can decorate it however you want to, and in some kind of way. My very first page in this journal has a watercolor background. I started out with the first page of a journal. Is so weird. You can put a picture of yourself. You can put a quote on there. You can write your name, the date you started it. You can do anything that you want to if that blank page is bothering you for whatever reason. So number 5, supplies. Pens, watercolor, stickers, acrylic paint, markers, pictures, ephemera, anything and everything. There's no holds bar with what you want to use. Now, recently, people have asked me about my pens. When I very first started journaling, my friend Yukari, she's in the Fobonichi Journalers group, shared this pen. Romany's Realm also uses this pen. There are a lot of people that have this pen. It is a carbon desk pen, platinum carbon desk pen. It has an extra fine nib. I use these ink cartridges that are platinum carbon ink. It has carbon ink in it. It's waterproof ink, and this is truly waterproof ink. I use this to draw with a lot of times because it is an extra fine nib, and when I need a very faint line, I can do that with this pen. The other thing I use are these. These Sharpie pens are waterproof. They're also acid free. They don't smear. It takes a second to let them dry, but once they have dried, they do not smear. They are waterproof. And these are inexpensive. I also use Micron pens. I also use Faber-Castell pens. I think this is a medium. I also have this Micro Perm pen. It's made by Sakura. I need to get another one of these. This works well on pictures, on glossy stuff. I also use my TWSBI Echo, which I have Noodler's Bullet ink in, which is supposed to be waterproof, but it's not. Mine isn't. Anyway, the bottle that they sent me is not. I also use a Pilot Kakuna. This is a medium nib, and I have, but I think it's in my bag, a Jinhao, I think it's a 750, I'm not sure, with a Goulet Pens Italic nib on it that Maya sent me. And when I want to write fancy, I use that, but I make sure that I do it on top of watercolor, or when I'm not going to use any paint or water over it, anything that's water-based, because it will smear, because I don't have waterproof ink in that. I also have these Zig calligraphy pens. They're not waterproof either. They smear, so I have to make sure that I wait to use them until I'm done. I use pictures that come in the mail on advertisement. I use pictures I take with my Instax camera or pictures I print from my printer. I use stickers. I use stamps. Luckily, I have archival ink stamp pads, and those are waterproof. Once you let them dry, you have to let them dry. I have inexpensive watercolor. I have medium grade watercolor. I have what is called, I guess it's almost art or art student, have some student grade watercolor and some a little bit of professional grade watercolor. Really afford the big ones. Can't afford those. But you can use whatever. I have actually used Crayola markers. I have used a children's watercolor palette. I have used whatever I had on hand to be honest. The next thing I'm talking about, if you don't really know what to write about sometimes, if you're a little bit stuck, there are a ton of writing prompts out there, journaling prompts out there, prompts for you to write things, prompts for quotes, prompts for drawing, all kinds of things. Number 7, there are going to be mistakes, like the ink splotches. It's okay. It's okay if there are mistakes. Sometimes you can cover them up, sometimes you can't. You just have to roll with it. It's okay. Number 8, get out of your comfort zone. Try something new. Go somewhere and journal, or try a different method in your journal, which leads me to the next one. There are various types of journals out there. There's various types of journaling out there. If you don't like to draw, I know several people who print out clip art, who get pictures from magazines, who collage. You can print memes from Facebook, all kinds of different things. Don't limit yourself though. You don't have to do any one style of journaling. You can do a number of things. That's what I do. Mine's a hodgepodge of journaling styles into one thing. Some days I feel like drawing, some days I don't. Some days I feel like adding stuff, like pictures or whatever. That's cool. Sometimes I do. Sometimes my journal page is more like a scrapbook or a smash book kind of page. It's whatever I'm in the mood for. And the last one would be privacy. Boundaries. If you feel like someone would be looking in your journal and you don't want them to, you can keep a separate journal for stuff that's more private, and you can keep that one hidden. To be honest with you, if people are looking through your journals, your diaries, it's a boundary issue that needs to probably be addressed. There are some people who just don't believe in privacy. And then there are other people who are extremely private. Some people honor boundaries and some people don't. It's a personal thing. But for me, I oftentimes show my husband, my family members, pages in my journal, but there are certain things that are more private. Either put those things in a separate journal that nobody ever looks at. I don't really have anything to hide. If I feel the need to journal emotionally, more diary style journaling, I have a journal for that. I don't really have anybody in my life go through my journal. At the same time, I don't really have anything to hide. I don't have an issue with that. I used to. I know how it feels. Like I said, if that is an issue and it's not something you can do anything about, you can keep a separate journal for that private stuff and a good place to hide it. I don't like that. I don't like having to do that. I've had to do that. I don't like having to do that, but I understand. And sometimes it's pretty much about circumstances. And like I said, there are some people who just don't honor boundaries. So that's it. I have, like I said, all kinds of different journals. I have a ton of videos about journaling. Some of my really older ones, you'll see I have some flip throughs when I was doing Fauxbonichi style journaling all the time. That was really my main kind of journaling. I have sketchbook journals that I used to do. I have watercolor journals, like a sketch journal. Like, here we go. So, yeah, whatever floats your boat. That's journaling. Keeping a journal it's a creative outlet for me. It's something I'm very passionate about. It releases, it's a de-stressor for me. It helps reduce my anxiety and helps keep my depression for the most part at bay. It helps me with my ADHD because part of my journaling has to do with my planning, my little lists and things. And then I have like where I do goals and stuff like that that has to do with the journal. I do bullet journaling in one book anymore. I have it separated into different kinds of things. Works for me that way. My Omni journal pretty much has everything in it though, but I have since One Book July realized that some things for me, like little bits of daily planning, work really well in my Omni journal, but the forward planning, collections, and that kind of stuff doesn't work so well in my Omni journal, so I keep those in inserts, traveler's notebook. So that's what works for me so far. Subject to change. It's always subject to change. Thank you for watching, y'all. I hope you have a good one. I'll see you again soon. Sunday should be a flip through. I'm going to film that this afternoon. Hopefully it'll get a little sunnier where there's more sunlight. So I will talk to you again soon. Thanks.